Alright, much Abrew about nothing time. Playing some mono white devotion in modern. And, well, this hand's pretty sweet. We get to Nykthos mana fairly quickly. We're on the draw. Oh no. Blackleaf Cliffs. Discard here is pretty bad. That's a Thoughtseizes. Assuming they take our only threat, and then we essentially have a 6-land hand. I was really counting on this Archangel to go to the battlefield. Alright, takes a border post. Another Archangel. Well, that's border post. Play into our opponent's Kolaghan's command. Pass the turn. Arid Mesa for our opponent. Cracks it. Godless Shrine untapped. And there's a Dark Confidant that we currently do not have an answer for. Alright, planes go. Opponent gets to start bobbing it up. Gets a land. Gets in 4-2. Well, I guess we play Boros Reckoner. Hope our opponent doesn't have removal. Another Dark Confidant. Whoa. Leyline could end up being sweet. Boros Reckoner is very good with our Nykthoses, if it somehow lives. Opponent's drawing multiple extra cards a turn, though. Opponent gets a plains. And paths. Well, we get another plains. We might be on the hope our opponent kills themselves with Dark Confidant plan. Not happening. So far, 3 flips, 0 damage. Oh, opponent. Plays a Shambling Vents. Think of all those useless lands our opponent would have been drawing if they didn't have Dark Confidant. And passes. Well, let's just play Leyline. Opponent helixes our face. Play Nykthos. Pass the turn. Opponent gets another Lightning Helix and a land. Cracks Marsh Flats. Fires up Shambling Vents, so we're going to be down to 5. Not good. That means removal spell is going to be pretty deadly. Down to 5. Passes. Well, I think what we need to do is Journey to Nowhere. Get rid of Dark Confidant. Play Nykthos. Keep the untapped Nykthos. And just Sky Sovereign. Get rid of Dark Confidant. I'm still not confident that this gets us back in the game. But we killed the Dark Confidants. Only drew our opponent 5 extra cards for the cost of 2 life. Pretty good deal, that Dark Confidant. Opponent fires up Shambling Vents. Gonna put us down to 3. Go up to 18. Blood Crypt. Tapped. Well, let's just Thalia's Lancers. Search up. I think we just got to get Linvala here. And pass the turn. Linvala should at least gain us back some life. And we kind of have double blockers, because if our opponent goes to kill Thalia's Lancers, we can fire up Sky Sovereign. And we do have 6 mana. And we do have a Leyline, which means we aren't going to die to direct damage. So maybe we can make a comeback from here. Opponent goes with Dreadbore. So let's crew up Sky Sovereign. Make sure we don't get hit by Shambling Vents. So there goes Thalia's Lancers. And, ooh, opponent passes. Well, we get a free border post. So pick up our land, play border post, play the land. How much does this tap for? 5. So we can't Archangel, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Next turn we can probably double Archangel. But I think we just need to Linvala. Go back up to 8. And I think we're still just going to pass the turn. Next turn, after double Archangel, then things are starting to look up. And we have so much mana at that point that if we ever draw a Thalia's Lancers or one of our big things, we get to just slam it. Alright, Lightning Helix on Linvala. And Lightning Helix. I don't even think there's a reason. Our opponent's tapped down low enough that there's not really a reason to fire up Sky Sovereign. Cracks Arid Mesa. Actually, I think we're a land light now of double Archangel. Alright, opponent makes some spirits. They're back down to 3 cards. Journey to Nowhere. As long as Archangel unties is untapped, creatures can't attack you unless playing they pay 1 for each creature. As long as it's attacking, can't block unless they pay 1 for each creature. Well, let's see. 1, 2. Journey to Nowhere. Get rid of a spirit. Yeah, we're still 1 short. Well, Archangel of Ties. Crew up our Sky Sovereign. Get in, shoot down the spirit. Kinda working. That Leyline of Sanctity ended up being super key. Our opponent drew a ton of extra cards, too, so maybe all those extra lands actually hurt our opponent. I mean, it's good for them that they drew them off Dark Confidant and not naturally. That would have really ruined them. But it feels like we're kind of stable. And now our entire deck is back to being really good draws. Alright, fires up the Shambling Vents. Opponent gets in. So we drop to 6. Still hiding behind this Leyline, though. We draw a land. Not exciting. Well, let's play another Archangel. Crew up our Smuggler's Copter. Attack with both. Shoot down a spirit. Opponent takes it. Down to 10. Alright, pass the turn. Well, this is pretty much it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have potentially lethal next turn. There's Bitter Blossom for our opponent. Plays a tap land. Our opponent needs life gain or removal or something, though. And we still have the potential of drawing something. Not only can we cast anything in our deck, I think we can Thalia's Lancers and search up anything in our deck and still have enough mana to cast it. The power of Nykthos. Opponent gets in with both. Okay. So if we draw a creature to crew Sky Sovereign, we should just win. Brimaz is a creature that can crew a Sky Sovereign. So play Brimaz. And our opponent scoops it up. Wow! When we were buried behind that double Bob, I did not think there was any way we would win that game. But we got there. Alright, sideboarding. Blessed Alliance feels bad. Rest in Peace feels relatively bad. Wrath of God could be an okay addition. We have a lot of big flyers, which are nice. Iona doesn't seem great. It might just be bringing in the Wrath of God as kind of a hedge against our opponent going wide. Elish Norn is great. Ulamog might be our worst card. Also our most guaranteed finisher, though. I think we can just go down Ulamog. They have Path, so it's not even that guaranteed, because our opponent can always Path it. Alright, so we're on the draw. This is actually pretty good. Assuming we don't just get torn up by discard. Knight does some ramping. O-Ring answers something, including Bitter Blossom, which we know is in our opponent's deck. Opponent cracks. Their Arid Mesa. Gets a Godless Shrine. Tapped. There's Blackleaf Cliffs. Do they have a Bob? Alright, no Bob. Opponent passes. Well, let's just play a Border Post, play a Plains, pass the turn. These are risky lands. They're lands that power up Nykthos, but also die to, like, Ancient Grudge, which is pretty scary. This turn is going to be sweet, though. Actually, not sweet as sweet as I was hoping. Well, play Knight of the White Orchid, get a Plains. 1, 2. Play a plains. So if we just play Knight of the White Orchid, next turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, tap 6. Alright. Even if we played Knight here, we wouldn't be able to Karn next turn. Actually, maybe we could have. I don't know. Maybe we could have Karn next turn, come to think of it, but that's still risky. Our opponent could easily blow out that plan, so let's just get full value out of our Knight by waiting one more turn. Okay. Maybe we should have played it. Punished. That could have just as easily been the Thoughtseize we've seen from our opponent taking the Karn, and then we wouldn't have gotten full value out of our Knight of the White Orchid anyway, so I don't know. Opponent goes with Oblivion Ring. Play Sacred Foundry. They have so much removal, it's very possible that that plan wouldn't have worked. And Abbot of Kerrol Keep gets our opponent a Vault of the Archangel. Opponent already played a land, though, so they're kind of out of luck. We get another plains. Well, play Knight. Get another plains out of our deck. Get in with a Knight. Play a plains, pass the turn. We don't got much going on other than this Karn. We've drawn a lot of lands. Especially when you consider we only have 17 literal lands in our deck. Alright, opponent lightning bolts. Kills the Knight, pumps up the Abbot. Gets in, 4-3. Opponent passes, we get a ley line. Should probably just play Karn though. That makes the most sense. So play Nykthos. Oh, we know there's Dreadbores, though. Leyline doesn't save Karn from Dreadbore, though. Alright, play Karn. Tick up at our opponent's hand. Get rid of a land. Pass turn. Well, let's see if our opponent has a Dreadbore type effect. Otherwise, this Karn will almost certainly take over the game. Karn is so ridiculously hard to beat. So that wasn't a super fast Karn, but not a horribly slow Karn either. Opponent pass our Knight. Well, our odds of drawing action are going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planes left in our deck. Of course, that's deceptive because we have the border posts and Nykthoses. Lingering Souls. So it looks like our opponent's plan is just to go wide to get around Karn. And if we don't draw anything, it could work. We really need to draw something here. Basically, any non-land, non-mana producer in our deck. Another leyline would not be good either. Any creature. There's a border post. So if we tick up Karn, it goes to 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'd be losing it. So I guess that means we just need to tick down Karn. Get rid of Shambling Vent. Pick up a land, play a border post, play a land, play Leyline, pass the turn, and hope we draw into some of our big stuff. Alright, Stony Silence is annoying, but it's not as bad as you'd think, since the border posts are still going to add mana for Nykthos. So it is bad, but it's not as horrible as it might seem. So opponent gets in, Karn down. We just need to draw creatures. Well, Boros Reckoner is a creature. Not exactly the creature we were hoping for, because it doesn't stop the Lingering Souls tokens, but better than another mana source. Opponent gets in for 4. We really need a big flyer. Elesh Norn, Big Flyer, Wrath of God, all those things are great. Oh boy. Alright, well, we need one of those things in the next 2 turns. We're going to be dropping to 1 for sure next turn. And a removal spell would let our opponent kill us. So we really need something... Oh, this is not when you want to be drawing the ley lines. Alright, so past the turn, we're dead to a Terminate effect on our Boros Reckoner. Otherwise, we get one more draw step. Does Thalia's Lancers do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, Thalia's Lancers, Wrath of God, Elish Norn, and it's a border post. All right. Well, we just kind of flooded out that game. Could not find action. That is one of the downsides of playing a mono white control deck like this, or mono white. I guess it's kind of a control deck, but there's just not a lot of good card advantage options. I think we're set up fine, though. I mean, we don't really have anything else. We were close, though. Even in that scenario, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, any of our big flyers would have been pretty good. But Elish Norn, Ras, Thalia's Lancer to search up Elish Norn. We had a lot of outs there. We just did not find them in time. And we get to play first, which is nice. All right, we get to play first. Ooh, alright. I like this hand. This is pretty close to our ideal hand, especially if we just peel a Nykthos. We need a Leyline for defense, White Orchid for some ramping. We have a Elish Norn, which seems absurd against our opponent's deck, and isn't going to get Thoughtseize because we have Leyline. Alright, so we start with Leyline on the battlefield. And we'll just Plains and pick up the Plains for our border post. Pass the turn. Shambling Vents for our opponent. And passes. Well, play the Plains. This is kind of better, assuming our opponent doesn't have Stony Silence. So that means we get to play Knight of the White Orchid with 0 lands. Stony Silence here would actually get us pretty good. Later in the game, once we have Nykthos, we don't care as much. But it would basically be like a one-sided Armageddon. Alright, didn't happen. So that means we get to Knight of the White Orchid. Search out a Plains. Combo with the border post. Play the Plains, pass the turn. And we're up to 4 mana already. If we draw Nykthos, we have a ton of mana. Which means we're not really that far from Linvalas and Elish Norns. Alright, opponent just plays an Abbot. Looking for a land, perhaps. Lingering Souls is a good one to get exiled. We don't mind that. Opponent plays Blackcleave Cliffs and passes. Well, since we can't do anything else, we might as well just double up on our Leyline, play Plains, pass turn. Oh, Nykthos would be absurd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana it would tap for, assuming our Knight lives. Even if they kill it, it's still a ton of mana. Alright, Lightning Bolt, gonna kill our Knight. This is fine. We actually don't mind being behind on life and creatures, because that could give us full value out of this Linvala. So opponent gets in, 4-3. And let's... I guess we just Mastery of the Unseen and Journey to Nowhere to get rid of Abbot. And pass the turn. Oh, come on, Nykthos. Oh, Nykthos would be so good. There's a Blood Crypt. I think if we draw Thalia's Lancers, we search up Nykthos. Opponent fires up Shambling Vents. Yep. Hits us down to 15. Goes up to 20. There's Brimaz. Well, I guess Brimaz is probably better than just manifesting. Requires more than a Lightning Bolt or Lightning Helix to kill. And if our opponent has to path it, that gets us the land we need for Linvala. Opponent paths. Gonna wait to our upkeep. Alright, passes. We draw Journey. Well, let's get in with Brimaz. Now our opponent passed. So next turn we can hopefully Linvala. I guess for now we just pass and probably manifest at the end of our opponent's turn. Well, there's Stony Silence. That does cut back on our mana. So let's tap and manifest. Journey to Nowhere. Opponent passes. We get a Plains. Well, play the Plains. Get in with our manifest. And pass turn. Nykthos was pretty solid there. Or Stony Silence, rather. Was pretty solid. Did cut us off of 2 mana, which in this situation was actually better than most times because we had expensive things we really wanted to cast. Alright, Mastery hits a plains. Well, let's not attack. Let's stay back and do some blocking. Kind of hoping our opponent plays a land. Ooh, there's Lingering Souls. There's a land. So we can get another land with Knight of the White Orchid next turn. And Lingering Souls. Well, let's manifest, see what we hit. Ooh, that's Gisela. Well, we might as well still border post, since we don't have a land drop anyway. Pick up the land. Play Knight of the White Orchid. Search out a land. Play the plains again. Attack with a couple of manifests. Gonna leave back Gisela, because Gisela has some pretty good blowout potential here if our opponent goes attacking and we flip it around. Another Shambling Vent. Opponent goes to combat. Here's a big attack. Well, we're gonna make our opponent kill it, so flip up a Gisela the Broken Blade. Gain 4 life in the process. This deck. Oh, when it works, it's sweet. Alright, opponent bolts, kills Gisela. Sure. We still go up to 16. Back down to 12. Opponent passes. We get Boros Reckoner. Well, let's play Linvala. Gain some life. And pass the turn. We can't really attack into Shambling Vent. We are 1 land away. We're 1 Nykthos away from going insane. But we're 1 land away from Elishnorn, which is still pretty good. Also, Oblivion Ring unlocks these border posts. I guess we take it for now. But Nykthos is what we want to see more than anything. So opponent's going to give everything Lifelink Death Touch. Gains our opponent back up to 20. Archangel of Tithes. Well, let's play Archangel of Tithes. Journey to Nowhere on a token, as bad as that feels. Well, let's leave back 1. Do some attacking. How much would Nykthos make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17? So if we draw Nykthos, it's plus 15 mana? Which means we could, like, Mastery so many times. Opponent passes. We draw Elspeth. Well, let's get in with the Knight. Having first strike means, even with Vault, it's hard for our opponent to really blow it out. Oh. Just kidding. Oh, God. I will edit that out, of course. Shambling Vent's still there. Yep, so there goes our Knight. Let's just pass. That was pretty bad. Bitter Blossom for our opponent. And passes. Well, let's manifest. Come on, non-Nykthos cards. Oh, Thalia's Lancers would have got Nykthos. Another Mastery, not great. Well, let's pass the turn. Bitter Blossom, going to start making tokens. Oh, if we had drawn Thalia's Lancers. Opponent plays a land. Goes to combat. No attacks. Well, let's Mastery. Ah, Nykthos! And we draw a border post. This Mastery's killing us. Well, play the border post. Replay the plains. Let's attack with this manifest. See what our opponent does. Fires up Shambling Vents. Alright, that's expected. This time we're not punning. This was intentional. Flip around into Thalia's Lancers. Gain 6. We just got to stay alive long enough to eventually Elishnorn. Man, our Our manifest was so bad. We manifested 2 exact cards that we wanted to draw. Alright, so we go to 19, eat the Shambling Vent, pass the turn. Opponent can't really path. If they path, we get to Elishnorn. And that should just end the game. They get another fairy. This match ended up being super ridiculous, somehow. Opponent says Bloody Ley Lines. They must be drawing a bunch of Thoughtseizes. Opponent passes. Poros Reckoner. Well, let's attack with Thalia's Lancers. Opponent jumps. That's fine. And pass the turn. I think at this point our best bet is to just keep manifesting, because if we hit creatures, we gain a bunch of life. And while it's frustrating to manifest things we want, it's just as likely we manifest things we don't want and get them out of the way, so it seems like the smartest play. Until I hit another Nykthos here and flip. Knight of White Orchid, I guess that's fine. Border Post, not good, since we're Stony Silenced, but we'll play it in case we ever get Nykthos. Actually, Knight of the White Orchid is really good, come to think of it, because we can flip it up for only 2 mana. And it's going to gain us a ton. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we can manifest first, so it's going to gain us 8. That should buy us a long time. Alright, there's Lingering Souls. So our opponent is going pretty wide. There's the flashback. Opponent's slowly dying to their own Bitter Blossom, too. So let's manifest. Come on, non-Nykthos. Archangel of Ties. That's actually good. Then let's flip up Knight of the White Orchid. Go up to 27. Leyline of Sanctity. Well, keep attacking with our first strikers. Mastery's been super good here somehow. Opponent blocks. And blocks. Alright, pass the turn. Bitter Blossom puts our opponent to 8. Our opponent's dying in every way possible. They're draining away to their Bitter Blossom. They're down to 8 life. Their time is down under 2 minutes, so... Lightning Bolt. Linvala. And then what? Helix? Alright, well... Then let's flip up this Archangel of Ties to gain some more life. Up to 35. Linvala down. And double Archangel means our opponent actually has to pay 2 for each attacker. So I don't even think they can do this. Right now, 2 Archangel of Ties basically adds up to 1 Ghostly Prison, as long as they're untapped. And this doesn't even help our opponent, because they got to pay all their mana, so they can't activate Vault of the Archangel. That is not a Nykthos. Well, that's Knight of the White Orchid. At least this gets us a land. Search out of plains. Attack with our first strikers. So this means we win next turn anyway. Because next turn, we just... It took a long time because of Stony Silence. We're on turn 19, but we eventually did get enough. Vault of the Archangel. Not great against first strikers. But we eventually got enough mana to just hardcast this Elishnorn. Our opponent's going to go major blocking. Blocks, 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 blocks. Yep. So we lose Thalia's Lancers. Opponent goes to 10. Bitter Blossom keeps doing its thing. But I'm pretty sure the game just ends when we slam Elishnorn next turn. We might as well manifest here, just in case. And, oh, our opponent's going to time out. Oh. Alright, well, we ended up a turn away from actually seeing the kill. But we got there. Our opponent scoops it up, running out of time, but even if our opponent had removal for our Elishnorn, which they could have, we would have wiped away all those tokens and gotten in a huge attack. And sooner or later, well, apparently later, we would have drawn into more big things. So, well, that was pretty good, that game. That game went super long, but that was sweet.